happy election day for those of you who vote. And oh yeah, it's NFL trade deadline too, which is the most important part of this episode. So uh, don't expect us to talk about Trump or Kamala Harris today, but if you guys,
If you're coming here to listen to us talk about Trump or Kamala Harris, you got issues you got to work out with somebody because this is not the place for that. I'm more excited for action football tonight.
not the place or time here to talk about who our next president is going to be. But if you guys vote, I'm happy for you. If you guys haven't, I don't blame you. Personally, I haven't voted. Brian, I don't know if you have.
I haven't voted yet. I'm going to do it later today, probably at some point.
All right, let's go
If I
vote.
get to it.
Let's write that Eli Manning should be our next president, just because, and his VP can be, I don't know, Coughlin or something.
Yeah, Coughlin, Manning, and Coughlin.
Ooh, that'd be a good one. But happy Tuesday to you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the 3 to 10 podcast, episode 38 of season 2. I'm Nate. That's Brian here to my right. We got a lot to break down. We have week 9. Yes, week 9 to talk about.
Yes.
Of the NFL. We got NFL trade deadline moves going on today as well. So throughout the show, if moves do happen throughout, we will, pause what we're doing and talk about said move and go from there. But we've already had a couple to start the show, or before we started the show here today. And without further ado, let's get right into those moves. The first notable one was Darius Smith, the pass rusher, heads from the Cleveland Browns to the Detroit Lions. Now, this isn't really much of a surprise, right, Brian? I mean,
no,
it was clear the Lions needed a pass rusher because they lost Aiden Hutchinson to injury reserve about a couple weeks ago, and Smith kind of steps in and serves as that Hutchinson replacement, and this defense played extremely well without Hutchinson against the Packers on Sunday. We'll get to that game later on in the show, but a great move. Your thoughts on this, buddy?
this is perfect because like the Lions right now are the team to beat in the NFC, and losing Hutchinson takes a little bit of the edge away from that defense. I know they played all right, but when you get to playoff football, it's a game of inches, a game of moments, and if you have a pass rusher that can win a one-on-one and disrupt the play, that gets you just so much closer. So getting a guy like Smith. Is he at the same level Hutchinson? Absolutely not. But he's a perfectly fine filling candidate and a guy that will help this Lions defense tremendously.
Mm-hmm. And the Lions also received a 2026 7th-round pick, and the Browns in return get a 2025 5th-rounder and a 2026 6th-rounder. My goodness.
They swap 6.
Basically.
Did you see on ESPN they had Mike Tannenbaum doing a potential Lions Browns trade?
Yeah, it was
sense why the Jets were horrific under Mike Tannenbaum. So much sense because it was, for those who missed it, Browns trade Myles Garrett to the Lions, which I don't think the Browns would do that, but rebuilding, get a good package makes sense. The Lions would give up 3 first-round picks, Jahmyr Gibbs, and a second. What universe are the Detroit Lions going to do that? Please explain to me how they're going to give up the farm, one of their feature running backs, and a second-round pick.
Yeah, because Gibbs he's the guy that kind of makes that offense the way it is. I mean, yes, they have Montgomery, but it
doesn't work the same. That run game is different if you take Gibbs out. Montgomery's good, but Montgomery and Gibbs are, it's Sonic and Knuckles. It's the 2 different styles of running. You take one of those styles out and your offense changes.
100%. But look, I know Myles Garrett is obviously one of the best pass rushers in the league, top 5, 100%. But at the same time, you don't trade everything. I mean, they got Zadarius Smith, which he may not be at the same level as Myles Garrett, but you just need someone to replace Hutchinson until next season when Hutchinson is healthy again. And why not Smith? He's 32 years old. He's a veteran, 5 sacks in 9 games so far this year. He's had 65 sacks in his career over 10 seasons. And yeah, why not? I mean, the Browns is their second guy they traded away from a veteran standpoint. They traded a Cooper about couple weeks ago to the Bills, and now Smith is gone as well. So definitely a great move by the Lions. The Browns did get some, draft compensation in return, and why not? Because this team really isn't really going anywhere, so why not get as many picks as you can, even though those picks are in 2025 and 2026.
Draft picks. No matter what year they are, it's a lottery pick.
Damn right. All right. Next move so far on the list, the Cincinnati Bengals add some running back help, trading for Khalil Herbert from the Chicago Bears after on Monday Zach Moss was announced to be sidelined indefinitely with a neck injury. The Bengals felt the need to sign or trade a running back, I should say. You would think Chase Brown would have been the bell cow. Now with Moss out, that is not the case, as they acquired Khalil Herbert, who joins this backfield. Now, Herbert was kind of in a crowded backfield in Chicago, with DeAndre Swift being the starter as it is. Now Herbert gets a chance to possibly be a starter in Cincinnati. So Chase Brown will still not be the RB1. He'll work together with Herbert in the backfield. So not sure if you have any thoughts on this one, because it's not really a notable
I mean,
one.
it's kind of, it just feels like the Bengals are hanging on, like very slim playoff chances. And yeah, sure, you're trying to say to the fan base, sure, we're still in this. I know things aren't going well, but we're trying to improve the team. If I was the Bengals, I probably would have just gone quietly at the deadline. I would have signed a free agent off a practice squad to be a running back, but you're just not. The Bengals have dug themselves a hole so deep that I don't think any move can really propel them unless you're going to do something crazy like trade for a Cooper Cup or trade for a big defensive back or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And with the Bengals, they have a great quarterback in Joe Burrow. They have great receiver in Jamar Chase, and their defense is pretty darn good, led by Trey Hendrickson. And they're still 4-5, I believe, at this point.
They're not great. They're an average team. They're an average team, and I think if I was the Bengals, I would look. I'm like, look, we're not going to make it this year. We have some changes with T. Higgins' contract coming up. We're entering not a rebuild, but a retool, an off season where they can kind of change some pieces up, and then in a year or two, get back to that Super Bowl contending team because they have the core in place. It's just the supporting cast has to be changed.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you had Joe Burrow, you're gonna lock up Jamar Chase. That's a really great place to start your offense. You have to build from there.
Mm-hmm. And the main thing is always, the most important part is protecting Joe Burrow, because the offensive line hasn't really been a very good unit ever since they drafted him.
Of this new tool is how do we get that line secure, a top 5 in the league? Because as Burrow gets older, he's going to need more and more protection.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's good that they got Herbert to add another piece of that backfield, but not the most necessary move, even though Zach Moss is going to be out for a while with that neck injury. So, I mean, Chase Brown was a fine running back, but I guess they don't trust him enough.
Yeah, I have on a few fantasy teams. He's fine, but he's not that game changing back that a Zach Moss is.
Yeah.
He's just kind of oh, okay, 5 yards, nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, the final move so far that was made today was Jonathan Mingo, who, okay, so Hopkins went for a fifth, right?
Yeah.
And then Cooper went for a 6th or 7th. Keep in mind, these are two outstanding names.
Jerry Jones is so senile.
He's so stupid, I swear. So basically, the Cowboys traded a 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo, which is the stupidest thing. To be exact, it's Mingo and a 2025 7th for a 2025 4th-round pick. Why is this stupid? I don't know. Maybe
Mingo done.
Yeah, 2nd-round pick, 2023, 12 catches, 121 yards this season. He's had only 2 games in his career with more than 4 catches. And you would think, oh, well, maybe Mingo was a wide receiver number 2 in Carolina. No, he was the 4th string behind Leggett, Coker, Moore. And when Deontay Johnson was there, Mingo was wide receiver number 5. and you traded for a wide receiver number 5 and gave up a 4th-round pick.
You know it's bad when he's a highly drafted player and he couldn't even get starting time on the worst team in football. That's all you need to know about Jonathan Mingo.
It's just like you would think it's a red flag.
Red flag. It's major.
He's a 5th round. I mean,
It's Jerry Jones. It supports what I've been saying on this show. The Cowboys will not be a consistently good team, and like by that I mean contending for NFC championships and Super Bowls until Jones sell a family or Jerry Jones dies and the son is like not as egotistical as he is, which I really doubt. It seems like Stephen Jones has been groomed to take over and become the next Jerry.
And it's overall, man. It's just this Cowboys team always makes like the stupidest freaking moves, dude. I mean, I understand like you needed a receiver, but you couldn't like that 4th-round pick.
Look at the market.
Yeah, you could have got Hopkins. You could have got Cooper. Look, I mean, I know it'll be weird to bring him back, but he's be a better option than Jonathan Mingo. You could have got Deontay Johnson because he only went for like a 5th or a 6th.
Or you could go get Mingo, but like only give up a 7th-round pick. You know, be like, hey, the Chiefs gave up a 5th for DeAndre Hopkins. Mingo is not as good as DeAndre Hopkins. We have to base the market off that. We're giving you a 7th. The problem isn't Mingo. The problem is what they gave up for Mingo.
I wonder how the conversation went between Dan Morgan, the GM of the Panthers, and Jerry Jones. Was it probably like this?
Phone.
Hi Dan, what do I need to give up for Jonathan Mingo? 4th-round pick. Okay. I bet it was like as simple as that. Because like, dude,
at the Senior Bowl when Joe Shane asked the Panthers GM what's it going to take for Brian Burns, he goes 2 1st-round picks. He's like, starting point, but we're not going to get there. Like that's what the Panthers GM's like. All right, a 4th-round pick is a starting point, and Jerry Jones is like, okay, and he's like, wait, that actually worked this time.
Like, it is negotiate, Jerry. Like, god damn, man.
The worst part is there might have been negotiation. He might have started like a 3rd.
Oh, someone said on Twitter, I can't even get a 4th-round rookie pick in my dynasty league for Jonathan Mingo.
You give a 4th-round rookie pick for Mingo in Dynasty. First off, if Mingo is on your roster in any capacity but taxi squad, you're not running your team well.
So the Cowboys, they're in shambles. They are in shambles, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if that move works out.
That contract is just starting out, and he's hurt, so it's on Thanksgiving now.
Yeah, that's true because Dak Prescott, speaking of the Cowboys, he's going to be likely placed on IR, which I think this is scary because I saw. Okay, here's the thing. Like, we'll get into the Giants loss like right now. But the whole Dak Prescott
Giants lost again. The offense was okay. The defense couldn't stop anything. That's your Giants breakdown for the week, folks.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Keep it fast and simple, baby. Fast and simple. No, so Dak Prescott, the hamstring injury that he had, he suffered on Sunday was worse than the Cowboys thought. And he's going to miss multiple weeks, but it's not going to be it's not going to be a short-term injury at all. It's going to be a while, so he's going to be on IR. So the next 4 games for the Giants consist of the Panthers, the Bucks, the Cowboys, and the Saints.
Realistically, you go 3-1.
Yeah. The question is, do we want to go 3?
No. No, not really.
Okay. Because I think for you guys that, for those of you listening and watching, you guys need to understand this. Me and Brian every Sunday, when we watch these Giants games, there's two ways it could go. Either we win and this show is like fun to do, and it's always fun to do, but it's gonna be fun to talk about on Tuesday, or it or that we lose and it's just numb. Like we're just like, eh.
We lost again. Like I like legit this morning. I'm like, I don't know what else to say. We lost. Like anything, anyone expecting anything different to happen? Like, sorry, they lost. They lost again. They just
Yeah.
keep losing. It's not a
Yeah.
good football team.
No, not at all. And the more we lose, the higher our draft positions are gonna be. I think we're like top. We think we're like top 5 pick. I think according to Tankathon.
7, but we're tied with every other two win team right now.
Oh,
We had the hardest strength of schedule, so we're at the bottom. Like we easily could be number 1 right now. We have the worst record in the league. 6 other teams also have that record.
Yeah, 7th. So we're behind the Patriots, Jaguars, Saints, Panthers, Browns, and Vegas. Notably, the Saints and Saints and Raiders need a quarterback. Everyone else seems okay. Great.
But like that could make it easier for us to trade up. Like we could trade up to 2 with Jacksonville. Carolina's iffy. Cleveland, we could trade up to 5 for. Like, our spots right up for are Cleveland and Jacksonville. Maybe New England, but to go 1 seems kind of hard.
It's just I'm scared of the fact that we might go 3-1 in these next 4 games, and this ruins our draft. Like, look, I'm all for winning. Like, if our team wins, that's freaking fantastic. Like, our morale would be great as fans and analysts for Belly Up. I just don't know what I want.
The big picture.
Yeah.
Do you want the short-term happiness or the long-term happiness of getting a top 3 pick and picking a quarterback and, being able to, all right, well, the pieces are in place now. We're moving on from Jones. The roster's kind of working out now.
Mm-hmm. All right, on the count of 3, name the quarterback that you want in the draft. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Cam Ward. Yeah. Ooh, you have to think about it. What are you thinking? What happened?
I think I'm going Cam Ward.
But why did you pause?
Torn between like him and like Quinn Ewers are the 2 guys I'm torn between right now.
Kill me! Oh my god!
It's like every week I pick a new quarterback I like, and it just kind of like he has a bad week, and I'm like, oh god, maybe I don't want him.
It's just Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers is, I don't know, dude. I swear, if we get him, we're screwed again. I don't know what it is
with him. Yeah,
he just. It's not that the injury bothers me, but like the man couldn't beat Georgia when he was healthy. Like, how can you not? I'm not saying like you're supposed to beat Georgia to
show competitive in that game. He wasn't.
He was benched for Arch, and it's just. Did they even play this weekend? No, they had a bye week.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they had a bye week. It's just. I don't want. If we're gonna.
I get it. Like, there's not a quarterback. Like last year, I was in love with Jayden Daniels. I'm like, this is the guy. This is the franchise. This is the guy we can go out and get. Mm-hmm. There's not that quarterback this year for me. And maybe once I dive into it more, I'll find that quarterback. But just casually, like just watching the quarterbacks play, there hasn't been one to stand out to me.
Mm-hmm. It's a weak class if you think about it.
It is.
It's Shedeur, it's Cam Ward, and then that's.
But even like Shedeur is not a slam dunk pick right now. Because like last year there was Caleb Williams who's going to go 1-1 and he's going to be successful. Shedeur Sanders, like, yeah, he's probably going to be good, but like there are these red flags with him. Like,
leadership,
kind of a media liability. Always being coached by Dion. How has that affected him? How's he going to transition with a new coach and a new coaching staff that he's not related to? I'm not saying that to be against him, but we all know what it's like the first time we've gone from like our dad coaching to like a actual coach. There is a transition.
And the Chiefs. Well, not and the Chiefs, but update for the deadline. The Chiefs and Commanders are both interested in trading for DB Marshawn Lattimore. So just a little update for you folks. less than 4 hours left
That
here.
wouldn't be a bad one for the Bengals to explore if they're like really serious, like really upgrade that defense.
Yeah, but they probably won't, to be honest.
No, they won't. They're probably done for the day. But like, I would like if I was the Bengals, if I'm making a trade, I'm probably going defense. You're just signing a practice squad running back. Get like Turbo Miller out there in Cincinnati.
we love our boy Turbo, but
Love Turbo. What a name!
I know, not much playing time this
Good.
year for us, but he's good.
Such a great, just like for guys like us who like live off like T-shirt sales and stuff. Just like such a great marketing guy. Like Tommy Cutlets 2.0, it's just Turbo Miller.
Well, hey, in terms of the quarterbacks, dude, it's just Ward, Sanders, Nussmeyer might be like the third on my list, but after that, it's just Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers.
Jackson Dart and I mean Carson Beck were two guys
Oh
at
god,
the beginning of the year. I'm like, I could definitely convince myself into these guys. I want absolutely nothing to do with them.
especially with Beck. Oh my god, if we
Beck. I mean, Beck could have gone 1-1 if the draft was, August 31st. 1-1, and now we maybe a day 2 pick. I could see him falling to the fourth round.
That's what happens.
Dart's only more famous for being Uncle Wawa on TikTok. You seen that? No, I haven't seen that. It's Miss's tight end number 86. It's his kid, and he has a TikTok account. Like his wife follows her. It's great, but like it's like Jackson Dart. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. I will send this. I'll send this kid to you. It'll pop on my For You page, and like it's just like very wholesome. Like I can't stop watching this guy.
So he's a good guy off the field.
He's a great guy off the field, but like he's just not a good quarterback.
A quarterback on the field, and that's Daniel Jones part 2 if we drafted him. So, I
don't want to go that far. Like, at least Jackson Dart's competing in the SEC. I don't think Daniel Jones could compete in the SEC. Duke.
His hardest team was Clemson. You got a point.
Yeah, and like he wasn't at Duke when like they were bad. Like not the new Duke that's actually like
good-ish.
The football and is trying to build a football program, and within the next 5 to 10 years could be a really interesting team. He was at Duke when it was like we only care about basketball.
Plus, his surrounding cast wasn't the best. Yet we still drafted him 6th overall.
Play at Duke. Like, what do you expect?
Only us would draft a quarterback.
That's Dave Gettleman falling in love with a guy after 3 series.
Only you can draft quarterbacks at 6 overall from Duke, Dave Gettleman. Only you. I'm trying to copy that. Only you can prevent
forest fires.
Oh,
Smokey!
I love Smokey.
Smokey the Bear.
Smokey the freaking bear, giving us life tips. He should give us football advice too. Especially for the Giants.
Giving us light tips. Don't light fires in the forest. Yeah, I figured that'd be pretty much common sense, Smokey.
And then final trade deadline news so far. Diana Rossini reported the Giants continue to listen on Azeez Ojulari. Joe Shane are evaluating all offers, but the Giants want their price, which is decent draft compensation. So we'll see what happens there.
I am very against trading Azeez Ojulari. Like I know, like he hasn't worked out, but when he's on the field, he's a really, really good pass rusher, and like I really think it's in the Giants' best interest to keep him and have a really major discussion about Kayvon Thibodeau down the road because I think you get more for Kayvon, and he might be better than he is.
Mm-hmm. Kayvon Thibodeau.
This offseason, there needs to be a conversation about what we do with Kayvon.
And that hurts.
Major one.
Because I love
Which
Kayvon.
Sucks. I love him too. I love the pick at 5. I wanted to go at 7, but I love picking him up. I thought he's going to be the next Strahan, next Justin Tuck. But, like, it's the consistency is just not there from him. Mm-hmm. He's a really good player. He's just has those games where he is just a ghost out there. And do you really want to build your defensive line around a player like that? Whereas Azeez Ojulari, it feels like every game you're at least seeing him. Like you might not get sacks every game, but he's getting pressure. He's getting to that quarterback.
Yeah, like he's causing pressure, and he's not a one-trick pony, unlike Thibodeau, who he's athletic and great, but that can only get you so far.
And that was his major concern coming out of Oregon was this is a really good athletic player. We just don't know if he can develop into that consistent lineman, and we're kind of seeing it right now, relying too much on the athleticism and less on the skill.
Mm-hmm. Well, since we're on the topic, we might as well talk about the damn game. And we promise we'll reveal any updates on the trade deadline as they come along here the next 30 to 40 minutes. So Commanders 27, Giants 22. Jesus.
They're no longer the one team we can beat in the division.
No,
as they swept us.
Not at all. And they used to be like an easy win for us, a get right game to kind of bounce back and whatnot. That is not the case anymore. And in general, they're just not the doormat that they usually are in the NFC East. They're no longer a team that you can just mess around with and win against them easily. Like their off season made a big difference, and it all started by getting Jaden Daniels and just changing ownership. And
ownership's a big change.
Yeah,
it's ownership because it's a culture now. It's not Dan Snyder where we're having sexual, misconduct allegations every other week, sexual harassment and meddling. It's like, we have guys that know what they're doing now at Washington.
It's guys that care about the team and just want to have a better image, and they actually have a team name in the Commanders now, which may sound weird, but it's a name better than the football team that they were. And yeah, this win on Sunday, they swept the Giants, and that's the first time that happened in a long time. Jaden Daniels continues to show why Dable wanted him from the beginning. We saw that in the Hard Knocks where Joe Shane asked Dable, "Hey, would you want to trade up to 2 if possible or trade up for Jaden Daniels if possible?" He said, "Hell yeah." Not those exact words, but you can tell he really wanted to, and you can see why. He was efficient on Sunday. Daniels was 15 to 22, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 96.0 QBR. The running game for the Commanders wasn't as effective like they were last on the Giants. The Commanders,
they're missing Brian Robinson. I think that plays a major role in that.
And they still ran for 149 yards on us. So sad. Terry McLaurin, 2 catches for 19 yards, but had 2 touchdowns, all against Deontay Banks. So we'll get to him in just a bit. He disappointed me. And
it's a disappointing season.
Yeah. And I've seen this a few times on Twitter. Do you feel like the Giants losing Xavier McKinney kind of affected him, like, specifically?
I think so, because I think there's more pressure on Banks now. Because when you had McKinney, he was a solid veteran guy that could kind of lead the secondary. And then when McKinney left, I feel like the fan base all tore their heads and looked at Burt as the guy to take over that leadership role and put more pressure on him to succeed. So it's kind of unfair because he's only a second-year player and he's having just like a sophomore slump. But since he's supposed to be the face of the secondary, we criticize him more. Like McKinney could kind of take away some of that pressure because like he was the guy in the secondary. Now it's Banks and he's struggling.
And Deontay Banks and McKinney had a pretty solid relationship with each other, and there's a brotherhood that was created when the two of them played together. But when you lose,
he doesn't have that with Tyler Nubin, but it's just like
it takes time.
Banks is now the veteran. Nubin's the rookie.
Banks
just kind of fall in line with Xavier McKinney. Now, Banks set the example.
And then Banks hasn't really done a good job of doing so. Kind of being just stepping up from a mature standpoint. And we've seen that multiple times with like just lack of effort and his benching not this past week, but the week before when the Giants benched him against Pittsburgh. It's rough right now. With Deontay, and he was a first round pick, and we did trade up for a Deontay Banks. And let's be honest, we could have got Joey Porter Jr., he's a bit better than Banks.
Yeah.
So,
but Like, are you ready to give up on Banks? Because I'm not. I'm ready to give. I want to go out there in free agency and sign a big time cornerback, but I'm fine with just moving Banks as cornerback number 2 and be like, figure it out, bud.
Yeah,
This guy, he'll be one. So develop your game, get better, and we can see if maybe one day you can try again.
yeah. It would be, another correct word, but disrespectful of me to just give up on him already when it's only been like 2 years.
Responsible to give up on a young player
There
after
we go.
2 years.
100%.
Like Eli Apple was different because Eli Apple was in the media running his mouth. He's like, okay, this guy's just not going to work out here. The
Hmm.
only problems we've had with Banks was just not giving effort on the field, which, a veteran leadership player or just some coaching or maturity can change that. He wasn't, turning the locker room against him like Eli Apple did. So I don't want to hear that comparison between the two.
Yeah, 100%. So, but yeah, I just don't feel. I don't think any of us feel comfortable with Banks as cornerback number one. If it happens, great. But it was clear heading into the season, the Giants need like a veteran corner to kind of be that main guy. And yes, they signed Adoree Jackson, but he's not the same guy like he used to be. And he's been dealing with injuries so far this season. Adoree has. So whether in the draft or in free agency, hell, if the Giants were even competitive,
I think you have to go free agency because if you draft, it's a similar situation. Like,
has
how can
to.
you draft a guy and just give it to?
Yeah.
Like,
Plus, yeah.
I'm looking at free agents right now.
Hmm.
We got Davis from Detroit, Chavius Ward from 49ers, DJ Reed from the Jets, Jonathan Jones, Byron Murphy.
Mm.
You could want to look into.
I mean, unless the Giants get Travis Hunter, but that would
Yeah,
obviously
I mean, but again, that's the same problem. It's just then you're missing a quarterback in the draft
true.
unless you're going out there and trading for a Justin Herbert or someone like that. Then you can take a Travis Hunter, but
It's just this
issue.
this team isn't positioned competitively enough this season to trade for a Marshawn Lattimore, and this team can't risk not drafting a quarterback in the first round in the next draft. So it's kind of
If if there was a corner, like remember a few years ago when we traded for Leonard Williams at the deadline, we gave him like a third and the fourth, and it's like this is a move for the future because he's under contract. If there was a cornerback like that, I would say go for it. That quarterback's not available right now. There is no guy that you can lock up long term. He's not there.
mm-hmm.
They could be like, okay, this is a building piece for next season. He's coming in now, but really requiring him for 2025.
Yeah. So we're kind of stuck with what we have, and it's an opportunity for the young guys to grow. Banks and Flood and Drew Phillips, of course, who's been a pleasant surprise this season for us. But it just kind of sucks that we don't have that
Lock
solid
that
veteran.
shut down. Put a guy on an island all by himself.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, well, we'll roll with what we got on defense, but the defense could not stop Washington at all, especially when it mattered the most. I mean, the amount of conversions the Commanders made on third down and fourth down as well, it was just ridiculous. And the defense has been a solid unit kind of all year long, and they just couldn't get the job done against Washington. And and this was a game where but this was a game where the offense kind of played well. I mean, they scored touchdowns for once, and they were at home, so that just made things even better.
Yeah.
The fact that Daniel Jones threw for 0 total passing yards in the first half and 1 touchdown is beyond me. But
to my friend, I'm like, how is this possible? And he goes, it's the most Daniel Jones stat line ever.
But at least in the second half, I mean, he went 16 of 20, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Jones had a fine day, but
yeah.
I again ask Giants fans, what did Daniel Jones do on Sunday to put this team in a position to win? Nothing. And we have people, it's a bad roster around him. Guys, it's been 6 years, okay? We've changed the roster time in and time out. It's time for a change at quarterback. It's clear that Daniel Jones is not the quarterback of the future. I don't understand how there are still Giants fans repeating the same garbage over and over again. Well, if you get him a good head coach, if you get him a good offensive line, if you get him a good receiver, we've gone out and done all of that, and he still sucks.
It's just like, how perfect do you want? It's like everything needs to be like picture perfect, and it's not. Like, look at the Commanders. The team around Jaden
Picture
Daniels isn't
perfect.
perfect. I'm sorry.
No team can be picture perfect.
Oh,
The Patriots
100%.
won all those Super Bowls and still had problems with that roster. You know why? Because they had a quarterback that could overcome it and mask some of the issues.
I mean, the Commanders aren't a perfect team. Like they have Terry McLaurin at receiver, and
Second overall pick last year. Barely made any changes.
yeah, like look at the Commanders are not just a good team, but a great example as to show like you're one off season away from just changing everything. It to be specific, one quarterback away from changing everything. But hey, the Giants for 6 years said, nope, Daniel Jones is the guy. And we've been stuck with this guy for way too long. And it's games like this where fans are like, yep, this is why he's the future if we just continue to do this. But yeah, it's not that hard to find your first read every single time if it's open, guys. Like, it's not that hard. And Jones,
League neighbors 9 times. I think no one else got above 3.
yeah, because he just doesn't know how to look past his first read and make better decisions. He's just not that guy. But at least he threw his first touchdown, at home since 2022, week 17.
He's won 2 Super Bowls in the time it took Daniel Jones to throw a touchdown at home.
Honestly,
say all you need to about Daniel Jones.
You would think that fact would make us numb or make us like react a certain way. Who were just like, yeah, it's just not even surprising.
I laughed. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Jones could have had a
presidents by the time he did it. We were a game away from different presidents.
Actually, if Jones didn't throw a touchdown, we would have had you're right. We would.
It would have been Biden in 2022, and then whoever wins tonight, the president when he threw the next touchdown. Had he not done it,
True. Sunday. Jones saved himself, so good job.
Deep down, I was kind of rooting for it because it would have been hilarious. I will admit it. I'm like, it'd be really, really funny. Daniel Jones does not throw a touchdown today. Like, we're 1 game away.
That is a questionable pass interference call on Darius. Okay, see, there's 2 things that piss me off about this team offensively. First off, refs, I get it. If you're trying to rig something for us, that's great. But dude, that was not pass interference, Darius Slayton. Okay, we've seen worse. I mean, the Chiefs have done it. The Niners have done it.
The Rams tackled somebody.
Yeah, but we can't do that. So, but Darius Slayton, who didn't touch anyone, is called for pass interference. Really?
It's this league not knowing what pass interference is.
And more like the refs are freaking stupid. That's what they are. Get paid to do shit.
It's really pass interference is so simple to call. I call on my couch all the time. If the quarterback doesn't turn his head or is giving the receiver a hug, it's pass interference.
Mm-hmm. To me, if the offensive player does not touch said defensive player, it is not offensive pass interference. And Darius Slayton did not touch said.
It's very simple. They push off, pass interference.
Yeah, like
do something to like alter the cornerback or defensive back's route or position of playing.
Yeah, Slayton was just going straight, and then Wanda went to the right. Like that's not legal. So what is? So NFL, get your shit together. Seriously, it's ridiculous. And at least Daniel Jones rushed for a touchdown and trucked 2 people, which is great. And that's why we're stuck with this guy. Because
that's my issue. I think that's the way Brian Daboll wants to play with Daniel Jones. I think what we saw Sunday in an ideal world is how he would run his offense.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you can't run that offense with Daniel Jones because he's such an injury risk. How can you do design quarterback runs and put Daniel Jones in a position to get hit when you know at any second, like he's had serious neck injuries, serious knee injuries. Like this is a guy that gets hurt constantly, and one injury derailing everything for you.
Mm-hmm.
Call a more conservative game plan at that point, which is hindering the offense.
Speaking of Dable, it didn't work against Pittsburgh, so I don't know why we did it again. But like, can we like stop going for 2? Like, dude, like I get it. Like, we're trying to win, you know. I get that shit. But like,
Just call
why?
normal plays.
Just call run the ball.
Toss on the goal line and just
Yeah.
have Casey just run in like that.
Just run the ball, or like don't. Oh my God,
Do like a play action play where like it's a little dump off to Neighbors or Wandale. Like
we're at the 2-yard line. It's not that hard. It's not.
if you played Madden, you can run a 2-point conversion play.
100%. It is not that hard. Yet we make it seem hard. Or just kick the extra point. Like, instead of like being down 8, you can be down 7. Like that, and take your chances. Like,
and I get the logic of you want to go for 2, so your next touchdown is the game winner. But like, just take the extra point, go down, score again, and put the game in overtime. Then anything can happen.
Anything could happen. And this offense, it's not. It doesn't deserve to go for 2. Like it was hard. It was hard. It was hard enough they put up 22 freaking points. Like it's. I don't get it. I don't get this fucking team, dude. It's just Dable.
Makes no sense. Like Dable is conservative in some aspects, but when it's like that, he's going crazy. Like, no, like bring back the risk a little bit.
Yeah, like just kick the extra
the
point.
risk in the wrong spot.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So whatever. Dable, I love you, man, but you can't keep doing this, please. Couple more things about the Giants because we got covered the other games, of course. Theo Johnson got a touchdown. Congrats to him. Great potential. Great potential.
He looked great.
Oh yeah, 100%. He did struggle at first, but he looks pretty good. Tyrone Tracy was kind of quiet in the second half, but the Giants were already losing, so couldn't run the ball as much. But at 66 rushing yards and 16 carries, so pretty solid day for him. And Malik Neighbor.
I'm glad he played. I said on Thursday I'd be shocked if he played, and then when I saw he passed concussion protocol, I'm like, oh, great.
Mm-hmm. And then there's Malik Neighbors. And oh boy, I got. All right, Malik. Let me get this straight. So, first off, I don't hate you. I do not hate Malik Neighbors. But let me get this straight. You want to complain about play calling, which is fine. But a few things here. Just a few things. You're playing with a shit quarterback. Okay. And you're over here fucking riding Jaden Daniels' fucking dick. Because I swear to God, I don't care how close of a friend you are with Jaden Daniels. I don't want to see your ass on the sideline having a ball with him, talking ball like this is LSU. Get your ass in the huddle or with your coaching staff or with the quarterback or with the freaking team in general and figure shit out. You finished with 9 catches for 59 yards. Whose fault is that? I know it's Daniel Jones' fault, but it sure is damn your fault too.
You're not innocent in this whole thing.
Yeah, I don't want him over here buddy with Jaden Daniels, the opposing damn team. I don't care how close the relationship is. I don't care, Brian. If you were on the other sideline, I would talk to you pregame. Be like, hey man, blah blah blah. But once the game starts, it's a different freaking story. I don't want you joking around with him in the middle of a freaking game, even if it's a timeout, a TV timeout. We don't do that. And when he was asked about Jaden Daniels, post game, he was like, "How I know he plays, nothing's different. He leads his team to win. He's gonna do it every time he steps on the field." Oh my God, like, bro, how much do you want?
Yeah, no, it's a tough look. It is, and I get it. That's your best friend over there. It's hard. Time and place, dude. There's time and place, and it's just a rookie mistake. I think. I'm not too bent out of shape about it because I'm just like a rookie. This is probably the first time he's seen Jaden since LSU. There's going to be that reunion and stuff. But I agree with you.
Yeah, they talk. They talk
It's got to
every
be
day.
pregame or postgame. You can't do it during the game.
They talk every day. I'm sure already. Like, and dude, they saw each other week 2. Like, bro, that's fine. Like, you saw him already. It's not a bit. God, and he's over here complaining about play calling and crap. Like, bro, you have to understand this team is without you is nothing. So please talk to the coaching staff and players and figure out a
Why we can
way.
actually take like we expand the playbook a little bit. It's because of you. If you weren't here, we'd be running the same 8 plays.
Yeah, and Malik, dude, you're dropping passes. Pittsburgh, the week 2 against the Commanders on 4th down, that was all you. Okay, and I don't care how upset you were that you dropped it. We know how upset you are. It's normal to be upset. But dude, get better. You dropped it
We were
against
up.
Pittsburgh.
We were as upset as you were.
Yeah, but then get better at it. I don't care if you had drop issues your freshman year at LSU. Figure it out now, dude, because you're the only guy that we can trust on offense. Tyrone Tracy, yeah, sure. But I
He's
don't.
a more recent addition. Like we're only just starting to trust Tracy. Like 2 weeks ago, are you trusting Tracy as much as you trust Neighbors?
No.
Exactly. Yeah. Like Neighbors has always been the guy we can trust this season. So he's always going to be the centerpiece of the offense.
I just don't want to see Malik doing this buddy crap every single year. Like, thank God they don't play the Commanders anymore, so he can focus on the game. But like, dude, like you can see him in the off season. You can see him like maybe after practice or something. Maybe you guys can figure something out and see each other.
Go out to like after the game, go out together. I got no
Yeah,
problem. I got no problem with that.
no
If you
problem with
guys
that.
play the game on Sunday and you go into the city for a nice dinner, I could care less. That's your life, dude. Do what you need to do.
Exactly. But like, dude, like during the game, it's not the time. Focus on your team, bro. Like, if you want to go to the Commanders so bad, you can leave in like 4 years. I don't know, okay, but if you're
I
gonna
hope he
stay,
doesn't want to leave in 4 years.
I hope so too. But
I
if
hope there's something in place that he wants to be a Giant for life and wants to stay and be the next great Giant, like be up there with Amari Toomer and Frank Gifford and Victor Cruz. That's
Mhm.
what I hope.
And he needs to realize, like, dude, there was never a chance that you're gonna be teammates with Danny Daniels in the NFL to start your rookie season. Like, it would have been great, I'm sure, for both people, for both sides, for Neighbors and Daniels to be exact. But dude,
Crazy stuff to happen.
all I'm asking for Neighbors is like, one, dude, don't do this buddy crap, okay, during the game, and two, things are gonna get better, bro. Like, we're gonna get you a quarterback next year, and I love you. I do. Like, the fact that we drafted you, me and you were going like we were going nuts. Like, we were excited and happy.
There's a lot of excitement when we
Yeah,
got Neighbors, and there still is a lot of excitement with Neighbors.
yeah, there is. Like, it hasn't gone away. All I'm asking is just hang on for us, please. Just roll with the punches. I know you're upset about the play calling. Not that I agree you have the right to complain, but you just gotta hang on. Okay, we'll get you a quarterback next year. We'll we'll figure out who's
You
playing
have to
receiver
look at
behind
the
you.
big picture. You can't look at this like it's college and like
Yeah,
because like in college like you're supposed to you kind of guaranteed a few wins a year because you schedule a bad team and like all right like we may go 1 for 10 but we're playing Mercer at week 5. That's a W. That's a game we're gonna blow them out. Like
mhm.
there's not that in the NFL. Like
No.
the one team that might be close to Mercer is the Carolina Panthers, and they're still like a team with good football players on it.
Mhm.
There's not every team is kind of at the same level. It's just like in college, there's like here's Mercer, here's Bama. In the NFL, it's like here's Kansas City and here's Carolina. Like there's a difference, but like not really.
Yeah, and ironically, the Giants do play the Panthers.
Yeah, I was thinking like they're just happy the worst team in the league. Like I know New England is right now, but like New England has a future. They have
Yeah,
their quarterback. They need to build around that quarterback.
if they
There's
keep
no future Carolina right now.
if they keep losing, they're so getting Travis Hunter. There's no doubt about it.
I think my buddy's a Patriots fan might have already bought a Travis Hunter jersey. He talks about him constantly.
You think
I
he's
am in love with Travis Hunter.
you think he's gonna wear number 12? No, right?
No, he cannot wear an arm. No way. They've already. I think they've already retired it.
Oh, right. So
Not it's
maybe
in that situation where it's just like this number nobody can wear.
21 for Dion. Plus his reverse. Just
Number.
yeah, I don't know.
12, yeah, 12 backwards. Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Nice. You're welcome, Travis. We got you. But yeah, Malik, just hang on, man. And for those of you who, for the fans who go to Giants home games, I'm sorry. 0-5 at home. Look, when we beat Seattle like 4 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, yeah, that was great. Since then we've suffered 4 straight losses. We're now 2-7. We basically have a future that looks very uncertain. It's currently 12:52 p.m. on the East Coast, and so far, no trade moves yet. But if Aziz Ojulari or Darius Slayton are moved, it shouldn't be surprising because honestly, they might be on their way out. If anyone from the Giants are on their way.
Yeah,
All right.
Seeing anything?
Well, the Giants released Nick McLeod. Great. So we definitely have no corners. McLeod started 5 games this season. Good special teams player. Yeah, was playing on a 1-year, $3 million contract, and the Giants said, "No, thanks. He's gone." So, yay. Don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I saw something funny on Twitter.
What'd you see?
It's just someone online going, come on, can someone vote faster? I want America to be the funny colors again. It's talking about the electoral college. I like their red and blue. And it's just gray right now. It's like I want the funny colors. Like it's just such a stupid way of saying it.
Marshawn Lattimore, Saints are seeking his 2025 day 2 draft pick in exchange for him. They should be able to get that today. The Commanders have been actively involved as have multiple AFC contending teams, but the Commanders have the most ammunition. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, so we'll check on the deadline stuff before we end our show. And yeah, hallelujah. But the Giants are now 2-7. Their future looks murky with the future of Ojulari and Slayton yet to be determined here. We'll see if they get traded before the deadline. But as for the Commanders, they are a great example to show that they are you can be one offseason away from being contenders. The Giants continue to fall in a downward spiral. There's no way around it. They prove that no matter how they do it, they can lose games in different ways. Offense being crap, or defense not stopping the opposing team, or special teams not having a kicker throughout the year. It's ridiculous. And now even a game against the Panthers looks like a question mark now. Like there's no guarantee that we'll beat the Panthers, even though we are 5.5 point favorites.
Yeah. It's also a game in Germany. Like it's just weird.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly. Anything can happen. If the game is on North America, anything can happen.
Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, 2-7 right now, and things aren't looking great, but we gotta look towards the future, and it's gonna be hard to do so. It's part of being fans of a rebuilding team. You just gotta roll the punches. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do something sort of different this time. We're gonna go through every single game in Week 9, and we'll spend like a minute or two in each game, because if we go through each game and spend 5-10 minutes on it, we'll never end the show. So
we'll be here before they call the presidency.
Exactly. All right, let's get started. All right, Denver Ravens. Derrick Henry was the 10th player ever in history to get 100 rushing yards. Bo Nix caught a touchdown for the Denver Broncos, but the Ravens were up 24-10 at halftime, and they just continue to run through this team, and they ended up winning this game.
41-10.
41-10. This was the 10th 30-point win since 2019 for the Ravens, and their third game with at least 40 points this season. As for Denver, this is their second loss by 30-plus points this season. Your thoughts on this game, good sir?
To be expected. Baltimore is just a much better team than Denver is right now. Denver, I mean, things are going well for Denver right now. Bo Nix seems to be the guy, but when you're going up against Baltimore, it's just like this team might win a Super Bowl this year. You gotta just kind of chuck this game away. It's like it happened. On the next one.
Lamar Jackson was efficient, 16-19, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, had a 158.3 passer rating, which is absolutely perfect. Derrick Henry, 2 touchdowns and 106 rushing yards, and Zay Flowers emerging as a wide receiver number 1 for the Ravens. So that looks good. And
I love him
Deontay,
coming out of college. I think he's going to be great in this league.
yeah, Deontay Johnson looks like a waste. Played like 10 or 15 snaps. Nada, no stats. But we'll see. Dolphins, Bills. The Dolphins had a 10-6 lead heading into in the third quarter, but the Bills waked up as Josh Allen found Matt Collins and Ray Davis for passing touchdowns. The game was tied up at 27-27 after Tua hit a touchdown pass to Jalen Waddle, but the Bills hit a 61-yard game-winning field goal thanks to Tyler Bass, and the Bills won 30-27 to improve to 7-2 on the year. The Bills don't lose at home, Brian, against their division opponents. They are 10 straight wins versus the AFC East, and this is Josh Allen's 21st game-winning drive in the fourth quarter / OT since joining the league in 2018. Yeah, 2018. Thoughts on this one, good sir?
It just shows that the Bills are a team that's going to overcome adversity every single time. They're a team that if you want to beat, you have to jump out to a lead they can't come back from.
Mm-hmm.
They're in their minds, they're never out of it. And when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen who can throw the ball 60 yards downfield, now that he has, Keon Coleman's kind of established himself, Amari Cooper in the backfield, James Cook's a great running back. Like, this is a team that can come back and come back quickly.
Mm-hmm. And they won this game without Amari Cooper, who was out with the wrist injury, I believe. So Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir had to step up, but it was actually, like we just mentioned, Matt Collins and Ray Davis saving the day. Even Quentin Morris got a touchdown for the Bills, which is weird as heck.
That's all from having a great quarterback like Josh Allen and being an MVP candidate.
Damn right. So as for the Dolphins, though, 2-6, the future looks bleak for them this year. I mean, Tua's healthy and back, which is great, but they're just not the same team like they were last year when they were contenders. And it continues to look downhill for them. So we'll see what happens in Miami if they make any moves today, which is unlikely, but we'll see what happens there. Dallas Falcons. Falcons are up 14-10.5, but the Cowboys ran a fake punt, I guess, in the third quarter, which was very questionable. They just continue to do like dumbass
for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he's so gone after this year. I know it.
I don't know. It's Jerry Jones. We said the same thing about Jason Garrett for a decade, and he stayed for a decade.
Good point. But yeah, that fake punt was questionable. Falcons capitalized, took a 21-10 lead. Dak Prescott was grimacing though after a throw in the third quarter. So he left the game, and Cooper Rush took over in the fourth. It was a close game at the end because Cooper Rush threw a touchdown pass to Jalen Tolbert, but that was all she wrote as the onside kick was not successful by Dallas, recovered by the Falcons, and the Falcons won 27-21. Dallas falls to 3-5 on the year, their first 3-game losing streak since 2020. As for the Falcons, they are now 6-3. With Kirk Cousins throwing 222 yards on the day and 3 touchdowns, with Darnell Mooney playing very well with 5 catches for 88 yards. Not surprising here. I mean, the Falcons are going to win the division 100%, but Dallas...
They got the division locked up. They're looking at the playoffs right now. They're a good team.
Yeah. For Dallas, though... Oh, crap. Hold up.
We got something.
Something, folks. The Washington Commanders have traded for Marshawn Lattimore.
Wow. There we go.
Now, see, right there. You can't be mad at it. Like, this team is contending, and what do? You get better. We don't know what the draft pick is just yet.
I'm on Schefter's Twitter right now. They don't even say it. They're just talking about how great of a move this is.
It's a premium draft pick. So
he's on a minimum contract for the rest of the season. He's making league minimum.
Sheesh.
The way they restructured the deal, the Saints restructured. Commanders, we'll be paying him league minimum. Great move for the Commanders.
Wow,
they got a lot better. They might have just clinched the East with that one. I know he's banged up, but they might have just felt better.
They needed a corner and they got one. He's going to cost just $605,000 against the cap this year. That's cheap. That's cheap. And he's an all-pro. Oh, my goodness. That's outstanding. He's going to be...
Great deal.
Oof. Under a contract through 2026 to $36.5 million in the final 2 years. But he's still recovering from a hamstring injury, so that's a little bit of a concern, but he's recovering, which is great. Good move. Solid move by the Commanders. Love it. The Saints, hey, you got to unload cap space, man. There's nothing to look forward to in New Orleans. So Great move by the Saints. There we go. That's the move we are looking for on this
There we
show.
go. We had something.
Yeah, I like that. See,
There's no way
Cowboys.
people are blaming Joe Shane for not going after this. It cost a premium draft pick, people. We're rebuilding. We're not giving up that for a 28-year-old corner. Jesus Christ. I hate these people.
I know.
I can't deal with it anymore. My buddy who's a Commanders fan just texted me, let's go.
There you go. Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
There we go. We love it. All right. We'll keep you all updated on any other moves and if there's any more details on a lot of more, but good move by the Commanders. All right. Chargers, Browns. Hey, after a season that started with Justin Herbert not really having great numbers to start the year, he's doing pretty damn good. He went 18 of 27, 282 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Browns, had 2 first half touchdowns to Joshua Palmer and Quentin Johnson. They were up 20-3 at the halfway point of the game. And that was kind of just all she wrote. Chargers won 27-10 at the end. Browns are 2-7. Chargers are now 5-3. So after it seemed like a rough start for Herbert numbers wise, but he's playing well now. I mean, he's always has.
He's settled in.
Yeah, he's getting used to the weapons around him and Quentin Johnson after last year where he just did not look the same at all, or it wasn't like the first round pick he was drafted to be. He's looking good now. Like it just took some time, but he's getting there. And then what's his name? Lad McConkey. I love him. He's good. He's a great slot guy. I'm excited to see his future in the NFL.
The Chargers are rebuilding, and they're going to be rebuilding this year. But this team could be a sneaky wild card dark horse next year if they continue to build this the right way. Yeah. You got a great head coach in Harbaugh. You got a great quarterback in Herbert, and he's finally getting the talent around him. It's a good team.
It might be like a reload if anything. They're 5-3, and they have the pieces. I mean, their offensive line is great. I mean, Joe Alt, dude. My goodness, he is absolutely phenomenal.
4 years at Notre Dame. I love the kid. I know we didn't need offensive linemen, but if the Giants were taking Joe Alt, I would not have been upset. I mean, this is a lineman the Giants have not had in years. This type of production he's going to give.
Alt and Thomas on the left and right sides. Ooh. And even with that, if they drafted Alt, and if Thomas still went down, Alt could go to left tackle, and Illuminor would have been I don't know. He would have been great. I mean, we could put Illuminor at right tackle.
The line would have been so much better with that. Yeah. But we don't have Malik Neighbors, so
yeah, that's true. Gotta pick and choose one or the other. So, but Alt's doing great. Him and the other offensive lineman in the Chargers. I forgot what his name is. He's really good too. Oh my God, it's Alt and someone else. Slater, Rashawn Slater. There you go. Those two they're the cornerstones of that O line, and Justin Herbert. He's gonna be protected for years to come, man. So they just need a few more weapons offensively. I feel like maybe like a really true wide receiver number one, and some defense.
They need to go out and do what the Bills did when they traded for Stephon Diggs. They needed to go out and do something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Stephon Diggs is the answer, but there's going to be a disgruntled wide receiver out there on the market. Go out and get him.
Go and get him. All right, Jags, Philly. Eagles had the Kelly Green jerseys. They were up 16-0 at the half. They were up 22-0 in the third quarter. And then the Nick Sirianni shit show happened, and they almost blew it.
He is such a doofus. I really wish I could like him because he's such a perfect Eagles coach for a fan like me. He's just good enough to not get fired, but he's not good enough to put this team in a position to win Super Bowls. But the problem is he's just such a douchebag. I want to punch him in the face. And I just can't stand him.
He's just stupid. Yeah. I don't know what it is. He's just not that guy. He's just not that guy.
Vibes of just the guy in elementary school who thought he was good at everything and sucked at everything, but was living in this weird fantasy you can get out of. You just hated that kid on the playground. They The kid in rec league could always take threes and like air balls. Like, no, stop shooting threes. Play other parts. That's what he
Man.
reminds me of. Like, we all know that kid.
Yeah, it's just he went for it on multiple fourth downs, couldn't do it. Jacksonville took advantage. They were driving down the field, at one point, and it was like 20-23 at one point. And the Jaguars were moving down the field on the last drive, but then N'Kobe Dean picked off Lawrence in the end zone to kind of end the game. But yeah, this team. I'm just saying, this Eagles team is only winning because the players. It's not the coach.
They're being bought out by high-end talent. I've been saying this since week 1.
It is Saquon Barkley, it is Jalen Hurts, it is A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith. It is not the coach that's doing all this work. And when you have running back like Saquon Barkley, who continues to play really well.
He looks 5 years younger. Just looks different. He looks like the guy at Penn State.
Dude, that hurdle was sick.
Woo. I mean, every Eagles fan, and like, good for them, I guess, that they're going to have that picture of Saquon Barkley hurdling that Jaguar in the Kelly Green jerseys, which, like, are cool if you're an Eagles fan. Like, that's an all-time moment for them.
That's sick.
I guess good for them, those Santa Claus booing, battery throwing pieces of garbage.
It was a sick play. Reminds me of when he hurdled the Bears defender when he was with us.
What, then tore his ACL like 5 plays later?
No, it was the
the home game?
It was the home game. It was the home game against Chicago. I think
tore his ACL in Chicago the year before.
I think so, yeah.
Or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Tearing his ACL in Chicago.
So, yeah. Well, you know what? I don't really miss Saquon like that because he went to Philly, but, good for you, man. Good that you found a home, I guess, or whatever. We had time on Tracy, so I'm not complaining.
Exactly. And by the way, everyone kills the Giants for letting Saquon Barkley go. Why is nobody killing the Titans for letting Derrick Henry go? He's going to win offensive play. He's doing offensive player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
No one's talking about that.
Yeah, but oh no, it's the Giants and Saquon Barkley.
Giants let Saquon Barkley go. Like, guys, hey, the Giants have found a pretty good replacement in Tyrone Tracy. The Titans are much worse off than we are.
Yeah, because there's nothing.
Why are they not getting killed the same amount as we are? Very similar situations.
Did they let him go and Hopkins go? Those are 2 major offensive pieces, and they don't get any flack about it.
Or you want to keep going? Bengals losing Joe Mixon.
Oh, that's a good one.
Killed too?
It's a good one. Well, because this
Bengals team is not as good. I know Joe Mixon is not at the same level of a Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, but it's still, you lost a running back and you got worse. But they're kind of getting a pass. It's like the main talking point about the Giants and why Joe Shane's a bad GM. If that is the barometer, then Tennessee's GM needs to be fired. Cincinnati's GM needs to be fired. Like,
stupid, but it's okay. Once we get our, the team is better. Watch, they're not gonna be saying crap about the Giants. I'll tell you that much. So, the NFL, fans can be weird sometimes.
It's the media, I feel more.
Well, yeah, both media, fans. It's only because we're so with Daniel Jones, man. He's a reason why this team gets criticized.
The Titans got Will Levis.
Yeah, but they're not gonna. It's because Will Levis is in a 2-year project. We've been stuck on this project for 6 years. That's obviously, that's pretty much why. If it was if we had Jones on a 2-year, if he was 2 years in, different story. But 6 years, 5 of them being the same mediocre shit, different story. True. But yeah. Let's see. Oh, Detroit Packers. Rainy as hell. My God, that weather looked like crap in Lambeau.
Those are always the fun games, though. When the weather's just bad.
Yeah.
On with the fans more.
Always a fun game, and
for Detroit, we're miserable. Please win.
And for Detroit, man, they just continue to win games. It don't matter. It could be a dome game or an outdoor game. It doesn't matter. This team is not the same Lions that we saw 5-6 years ago. This team is for real. Jared Goff hit Amon-Ra St. Brown on 4th and goal to take a 7-3 lead in the first half. It was 24-3 after halftime at one point, and the Lions ended up winning 24-14 with Jared Goff just throwing for 145 passing yards. And you would think he could criticize for that, but honestly, because of the rain and because his Lions team is just too damn good, no one's saying anything because you have Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery who rushed for 138 total rushing yards. And Amon-Ra St. Brown has caught 30 straight targets from Jared Goff, and the Lions are now 7-1 on the year. Packers are now 6-3. These are 3 straight wins at Lambeau Field for the Lions, the first time since 1986 to 19.
I was gonna ask when was that the first time? Wow, good for them. It's changing the guard. I feel like it's the change of the guard. The Lions are now becoming the force in the NFC North.
I'm really glad Jared Goff is succeeding. It's like a big FU to the Rams. I like that.
Yeah. It kind of feels like a trade that both sides won. Like the Rams won their Super Bowl and the Lions could win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah. But still, you don't give up on a guy. And I understand, the Rams, they won the Super Bowl, but which is great, but they're not going to win another one anytime soon.
With Stafford, no.
No, 100%. And it's not even his fault. It's just he's old.
Exactly. He's getting old and injuries are taking their toll on him.
100%. So good for Detroit, man. They have a amazing
They deserve it.
They deserve it. You can't hate if you hate the Lions and you're not a football fan. Go fix yourself. I'm sorry?
On the Cubs when they were in the middle of their drought.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Man, good times for the Cubs back then. Rizzo, Baez,
Bryant.
Rizzo
and Bryant were the 2 main guys in that team.
Man, good times. And now they're not going
to... A free agent, probably going to sign a minor league contract somewhere, and Bryant can't get out of his own way in Colorado.
Yeah, and the Cubs aren't going to win anything for the next 100 years. They have Imanga, though. But that's all I can think of.
He looks great.
Yeah.
They have a nice core coming. 2 years away.
Well, let's see if that makes a difference when we're talking in 2027 or whenever this core is.
Belly's a free agent this year, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So that's something they got to get back.
Come to the A's. I'm just playing. Don't. No one.
The A's. That's it now. It's just A's. No more Oakland. It's officially just.
It's sad. It's sad. The Athletics, not the Oakland Athletics, not the Sacramento Athletics, the Athletics. Sad. Anyways, Raiders, Bengals.
Speaking of Vegas.
Yeah, the Raiders suck.
Talk about another team with horrific ownership.
Yeah. Minshew, not the guy. He was benched after fumbling a handoff. And then we saw Desmond Ridder in the game. But it doesn't matter who's at quarterback because the Bengals just kick ass. Joe Burrow was great. 5 touchdowns, 41-24 win. Chase Brown went for 120 yards rushing. Apparently that didn't matter to the Bengals at all because they traded for Khalil Herbert today. Mike Gesicki doing his awful gritty twice, but he ended up scoring 2 touchdowns for 100 yards.
He's having fun out there.
Yeah, he's having fun, and I don't blame the man, but he needs to fix that. That gritty does not look good. And then, Trey Henderson had 4 sacks, outstanding against the Raiders. And the Raiders said, you know what? We suck, so let's fire our coaching staff. Fire Luke Getsy, their offensive coordinator, James Craig, their O-line coach, and quarterback coach Rich Sancringelo. Cleaning house, I see, is not going to fix anything. So thoughts on this one, bud?
Not surprising. I think if you're the Raiders, you kind of have to go Desmond Ridder at this point and just see what you got there and see how necessary is quarterback. But it's bad for Vegas right now.
Lattimore just costed a 3rd and a 4th and a 6th.
3rd, a 4th, and a 6th.
That's not even that bad.
That's not. I would not consider that premium. I think premium. I think they got at least a 2nd.
Yeah. Damn. New Orleans, you suck. Damn. Premium my ass. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
That's stupid. Teams are still trying to see what the Giants are doing going to do with Azeez Ojulari. Giants looking for a high 5 or a late 4th.
I don't want to trade up for that.
Give me a 3rd at minimum, and then we talk. I just need a 3rd. But it's fine because this team sucks anyways. And what are you gonna do? Resign Ojulari? Probably not, because us, we don't resign players.
No, we let him walk.
Yeah.
Especially Ojulari's a guy that Shane didn't pick. There's no loyalty to him.
And this is not any hate towards Joe Shane. It's just like, can we just keep some guys, please?
Every GM does it. Every GM has a bias towards the guy they picked versus the guy they didn't pick.
But Ojulari is good. He just needs to stay healthy, and he is.
Yeah.
So
hopefully Joe Shane is smart enough to realize that, though.
Hopefully.
Hey, I may not have picked him, but he's working out, so.
Hopefully. The Raiders did sign or hired Norv Turner to be their offensive assistant. So take with that as you will. I don't know if that's going to change anything, but we'll see. Yeah, Desmond Ridder should be the starter for the Raiders. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
We got 6 more games to cover real quick. All right, let's go. Saints, Panthers. The Panthers won.
Losers. Panthers won a game.
Yay!
That's more than the Saints being an absolute dumpster fire.
Yeah. Chris Olave got a concussion in the first quarter. He's thankfully okay. But the Panthers, man.
After the game.
Huh?
The game. His brother on Twitter.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. What were we talking about before? Chargers. You want to trade for a disgruntled guy?
Ooh, Chris Olave.
You get Olave.
Mm-hmm. It'll clear up some cap space too. So it'll be a win-win for both.
That might something to watch out for.
Mm-hmm. Titans, Patriots. Everyone has 2 wins now because yay! It's sad. It's sad, man. But Tennessee, pulled a 20-17 win in overtime. Drake May had an outstanding touchdown pass to tie things up. Yeah. That's a damn. If only we had him. That's a real quarterback right there.
So bad for everything bad we said about Drake May in the offseason because he's just proven it so wrong. And good for him, man. Good for him.
You know what? I know why we were so hard on him. It's because we were so scarred by ACC quarterbacks. Drake May, it is not your fault, sir. Like,
it's not your fault.
We criticized.
This is Daniel Jones and kind of Trevor Lawrence's fault.
That's true. Amen to that. Amen to that. It is not your fault. And we just got another trade. The Steelers have acquired a wide receiver. It is Mike Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Yay!
The New York Jets. They got moved him
for a 5th-round pick. Yay!
Good for Mike Williams getting off the Jets and going to a real team.
Yeah, I mean they didn't really need him anymore. But
hey, you want to go to Pittsburgh? Cool, good for him.
Yay! See, so it's George Pickens, Mike Williams, and then Roman Wilson. The Jets now have Devontae, Garrett, and
Lazard.
Oh, yeah, and Corley. Got it.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense for both sides. Okay, good move.
Yeah, I know. They've been wanting to move Mike Williams since they got Adams.
Devontae. Yeah, it was a good move. Okay, yeah, I like that. Good move by the Jets and the Steelers. I mean, it's a win for both sides. I don't see any downside for either side. So, Bears, Cardinals. DJ Moore walked off the field mid-play. Sums up the Bears season, kind of.
I think there's some coaching. There's a lot of coaching issues in Chicago that needs to be figured out. Eberflus cannot be the coach next year if you're the Bears. You have to go out and get Ben Johnson or go out and get an offensive guru.
For Ben Johnson's sake, I hope he doesn't go to Chicago. He deserves.
If you're Caleb Williams and you want to develop, that's the guy you go get.
Or you get Cliff Kingsbury.
True. But, I think Cliff Kingsbury has shown he's a better coordinator than he is a head coach. I don't think bringing Cliff Kingsbury helps the Bears at all. I think it's certainly bad coaching because we saw what happened in Arizona. I think it's gonna be a similar story in Chicago.
True.
Now they want to bring him in as an OC.
By all means,
I don't think that's gonna happen.
because he's having fun with Washington already, and he's building
He's
that bond
already an
between
OC,
Daniels.
so like he's gonna like what, like just pivot to the Chicago. Like
Yeah,
the
that's
only thing Chicago has over the Commanders is history.
yeah. So not really worth it. So, um,
No.
yeah, Rams. All right, Rams, Seattle. Oh, by the way, that Arizona Bears game, both quarterbacks did not throw a touchdown pass. So that's how bad that game was. At
Yeah.
least, yeah, at least the running attack for the Cardinals was good. I mean, Trey Benson scored a touchdown. DeMarcado rushed for a touchdown. Caleb Williams got hurt. He looks fine, I guess. He's gonna be fine apparently, but he kind of hobbled during the game.
Mhm.
So who knows? Who cares? Rams, Seahawks. DK Metcalf was in trade rumors today, but the Seahawks are not going to trade him. Surprise, surprise. Puka Nacua got ejected in this game after throwing a punch near the end of the second quarter. This game also went to overtime, and Matthew Stafford hit Demarcus Robinson, out of all people, for the game-win touchdown. The Rams are now 4-4. Seahawks are now 4-5.
What is the future of Geno in Seattle?
I'm telling you, man, I knew it. He's not that good anymore.
He's not.
I knew it.
He's not terrible because he is leading the league in passing, but he's a gunslinger. He might have a Jameis Winston season because I think he has 10 touchdowns and 11 interceptions.
Oh my goodness, that is a Jameis Winston season.
Yeah, my
God.
I don't think he's horrific, but he's also not great at the same time. I think if you're the Seahawks, you have to really question what the future quarterback's going to be. I don't think Geno is your answer. I think you can go one more year with Geno, but you can't go after that.
Well, their backup quarterback is Sam Howell. No, no, never mind. Sam Howell's not. He's not that guy.
Sam Howell for a season. It doesn't work.
Yeah, we seen him in Washington. We beat him pretty easily. So Seattle's not going to change Sam Howell. So also Cameron Kitchens had a 103-yard interception pick six off of Geno Smith, which is the longest in team history, and I believe maybe NFL history, or one of the longest in NFL history at least. So thank God Sunday Night Football was I'm just thankful because it was dead at work on Sunday.
Yeah, it was a little snooze. It was a snooze fest. Like I remember, I did Three Rails podcast during Sunday Night Football, and I got off and I looked at like the fourth quarter and it was like 14-7. I'm like, I'm not turning this game on. This is not worth it.
There was no point in watching it. Like that game was just But yeah, I mean TJ Hawkinson came back. Woo!
Woo!
Yay! Dude, the both quarterbacks just stunk up the joint. It was interception.
The Sam Darnold experiment's over.
Yeah, I think the honeymoon phase is over. Right? I think this is a sign to Vikings fans that show like, yeah, thank God we have JJ McCarthy.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, like thank God McCarthy's coming back next year healthy, because it was great while it lasted, But there's a point in time where you have to realize Sam Darnold. He is Sam Darnold for a reason. There's a reason why this is his third or fourth team. It's a big reason why.
The reason why he was the third string in San Francisco at one point last year. Yeah.
So, Darnold did hit some good throws to Addison and Justin Jefferson, who went off for 7 catches for 137 yards. He hit Jalen Naylor as well for a touchdown at one point. And then the touchdown passes to Josh Oliver, I should say, sealed the deal for the Vikings as they won 21-13. The Joe Flacco honeymoon phase as well in Indianapolis is over as well. I think it's time to go back to Richardson, even though they won't, because the team announced that Flacco will be the starter for the rest of the season. Yeah.
Not good in Colts land right now.
No.
A lot of questions.
Where's that kid? This is our... No, I'm not going to sing it. No, I'm not going to do it. Thank God. Can you imagine the Giants had a guy that sung a fan of the Giants that sung a song for the Giants?
We'd be so much more embarrassing.
How'd it go? This is our Giants. It doesn't sound right. This is our team. We bleed mediocrity. I don't know. I think we don't have anyone like that. And then finally, Bucks and Chiefs. I guess Mahomes looks back. He had 3 touchdowns.
I mean, Mahomes gave everyone in Kansas City a heart attack on the play in the third quarter where he threw and with the non-contact injury. I tweeted out, I'm like, that might be a season ender for Mahomes.
I know
Non-contact injuries are the scariest. And the way he was walking afterwards, I'm like, oh my God, please don't tell me that's an ACL. That looks ACL.
Dude, if he was out, which thankfully he's not, he's gonna be healthy and he's gonna play next week against Denver. But my God, if he went down, this NFL season would be
flipped on its head fast because the Chiefs are just barely winning with Mahomes. Without Mahomes, they're not winning at all. Carson Wentz is their backup. I didn't know that.
The Carson Wentz experiment almost began.
Oh my God, let's go. Carson Wentz and Andy Reid in Kansas City. Holy crap, Philadelphia, we have a nightmare. Oh my God.
Well, thank God, we don't have to go do that, thankfully, because Mahomes is...
that'd be incredible. Oh my God. Could you imagine if Andy Reid and Carson Wentz won a Super Bowl? Oh my God, Philadelphia would burn. Robbed. The greatest podcast ever.
Oh my goodness. It would be an interesting scenario to happen if that was the case, but thankfully for the Chiefs' sake and
I'm
for the
speechless right now.
It could still happen. Maybe, it's more serious and Mahomes has to miss a game.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
I can tell you're super excited about this possibly happening.
I'm super excited. It would be so funny. The two guys, those Philly scumbags who ran out of town in Kansas City, winning a Super Bowl would be the greatest day ever.
God, your hatred for Philadelphia is just insane.
It's great. I love it.
Kareem Hunt went off in this game as well. 27 carries, 106 yards and a touchdown. Travis Kelce caught 14 catches for 100 yards, so he looks back as well. And DeAndre Hopkins looks really good. 8 catches, 86 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the win for the Chiefs. The Bucks with Mayfield had 200 yards, 2 touchdowns in the loss. So Chiefs remain undefeated. Don't know how they're doing it, but they're managing, and
that's what a good team does.
A good team does. They win games.
That's what a good team does.
The stats may look ugly at some points. They may win games in the ugliest manner. But at the end of the day, as we all know, what matters is the number in the win column and the number in the loss column. And the Chiefs have 8 in the win column and 0 in the loss column. So with that being said, Chiefs continue to be, quote unquote, the best team in the NFL. Even though they do have a lot of flaws, this game kind of showed that
what's overshadowing all those flaws?
A good quarterback. You see, Giants? Figure it out, please. I swear to God, if I don't know how, but if some way, somehow, Jones is the starter or is still on this team by next season, we need to have a serious conversation about our fandom because no, I'm not saying
there can't no. There can't be no year 7.
But we have to explore the fact that there could be a year 7.
No, there cannot be a year 7. In no circumstance can there be a year 7.
Hypothetically, if there was a year 7.
Giants fans, I think, would storm MetLife Stadium.
Oh my God.
We are not a serious organization anymore.
If Daniel Jones is back for year 7, this podcast may not be a Giants podcast anymore. I don't think
I could sit here and talk about Daniel Jones in another year and just hope for him.
2025 is we change years it's a new year for a reason. So with new years come new changes. Figure it out. Come on, Joe Shane. Don't let me down, baby. With that being said, though, that is going to be it for this episode 38 of Season Dose.
I might vote for Carson Wentz and Andy Reid now.
Yay, our new president. So the Chiefs apparently almost got Marshawn Lattimore, but the price was too steep.
Interesting.
So 3rd round, okay, sure. Yes, because a 3rd round pick is totally not a lot. But
someone just suggested Azeez Jalari for a 5th round pick and a 5th for J.C. Horn. Not terrible.
I wouldn't be mad, but
I wouldn't hate that.
I mean, J.C. Horn is a son of a notable NFL. He's a son of J.C. Horn Sr. But wait, no, I'm tripping. Jimmy Horn, no, fudge. Who is J.C. Horn the son of? Joe Horn, not J.C. Horn.
Joe.
Gosh, dang it, Nate. Joe Horn. Got it. He's only 24 years old. He was drafted 8th overall. So, we are getting a guy with high potential. It could happen. Yeah. It could happen. So we'll see. Final thoughts on the Giants real quick, trade deadline wise. I think we
go quiet.
Okay, same here.
I think we go quiet.
Mm-hmm. The release of McLeod is probably the only thing that will happen. If anything does happen afterwards, it will be shocking to us, which we'll cover on Thursday. But we hope you guys enjoy the rest of the deadline that's going to end at 4 p.m. Eastern time, so 1 p.m. on the Pacific time. And yeah, we'll see. On Thursday, we'll cover Giants and Panthers and preview that game. We'll give our games of the week, and we'll do a little fun game at the end of the show. But we hope you guys enjoyed today. Go vote if you want. If you don't, it's okay. Because we're not going to force you to do something. So,
exactly.
I'm Nate. That's Brian here to my right. You can follow us on social media. Brian at PG1016. You can follow me on social media at Nathan_Nguyen24 and our podcast page on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at 3rd-and-10pod. We'll see you guys in the next one, episode 39 of season 2 on Thursday. Until then, have a great one, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.